First, we'll read off our video disclaimer. This disclaimer is to inform all participants that this meeting conducted in person and via Zoom will be recorded for record-keeping purposes. By participating in the meeting, you consent the recording may contain your video stream, including images of yourself, and through your audio stream. This includes any opinions you contribute. Anyone attending the recorded meeting may have aspects of the personal data recorded if they actively participate or not. By staying in the meeting, you consent to being recorded. By consenting and attending the meetings virtually or in person, participants who also agree to recordings being posted to YouTube and other distribution services. I'd like to acknowledge the First Peoples and traditional territory. Armour Township is situated on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe. Armour Township recognizes the historical and contemporary contributions of the local First Nations and the peoples of Turtle Island. We have several sets of minutes and we have one agenda change. Council should each have an updated, highlighted, slightly amended agenda. Council of Township of Armour accepts and approves the amended agenda for the May 26th, 2026 council meeting. Yeah, Dorothy, and Jerry, all those in favor of the amendments, that's carried. Council of Township of Armour approved the minutes of the public meeting held on May 12th, 2026 as circulated. Yep. Jerry, second there. Sure. Dorothy, reverse. And all those in favor? Carried. And one last but not least, Council of Township of Armour approved the minutes of the regular council meeting held on May 12th, 2026 as circulated. A mover. Good. Sure. Carry. All those in favor, and carried as well. Wendy is out of country today, so for four of us in the meeting today. Do we have any declarations of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof based on today's agenda? Okay, none noted. And we have two delegations today. We have Austin and Leah Toth here to talk about the retention of the cancer clinic in Huntsville. And we also have Danica here for her May 2026 report. So we're going to start with Austin and Leah, and you're fine staying there. The microphone that's in front of you should pick things up.
Okay. Are the people behind me going to be able to?
Yeah, they're kind of looking. I don't know if they'll see you or kind of the backs of your head from there. So
okay, that we stay seated, or would they?
Yes. Would you be more comfortable coming over here so you're on camera?
I'm thinking this. I can talk to everyone then.
You're more welcome. Okay. You can spread it.
Thank you.
You can close it.
I close it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for letting us attend this council meeting. I'm going to start off by giving you a little bit of background information. My name is Austin Toth, and I am a cancer patient at Huntsville Cancer Clinic. And I retired in 2021, February. 2021, I was diagnosed, so I've been a cancer patient that long. My cancer is called multiple myeloma, and at that point, you're given a choice where you're going to go. So you can go to RVH, which is Barrie. That association. So if you choose Barrie, your association then is with Princess Margaret. So I had stem cell in 2022. So I went to Princess Margaret. The reason why I'm telling you that is because I'm from Berks Falls here. My family doctor is in here in Berks Falls. I also had the choice to go to Sudbury, which Parry Sound has a cancer clinic as well. But I have to go to Sudbury in order to access the Parry Sound clinic. And that association out of Sudbury is with Ottawa. So no matter what, it's further. So the one I chose to, and plus I know Princess Margaret has a really good reputation, not just across our nation, but on the world. So I went there. It was my choice. That being said, The staff there, the other thing I want to say is the staff there are excellent staff. This petition is not a reflection on the staff at any level. I've had top-notch care throughout my cancer journey, which is really good to know. They've kept me here. Without them and without Leah, I probably wouldn't be here. I can tell you that right now. I would be a memory. So that being said, in December of last year, 2025, I was approached by the nursing staff at Huntsville, and they were alarmed because they had just come out of a meeting in that month or so, and they were told that they're moving the cancer clinic to Bracebridge. It's not known by the general public. No one, anytime I bring this up, people aren't aware of it from publicly. There's very little discussion out publicly that they're even contemplating this. So, with the assistance of the staff, the document was created in front of you. And how can we get the biggest response is it's got to go to the Ontario legislature. And we got to get as many signatures as we can, and we got to get as much support as we can, especially for Almaguin. And it's not just me. I mean, you know, I'm a cancer patient. Yes, it affects me directly. But when you go into the cancer clinic, I see a lot of people I know. I see people who live in our area. It's going to affect them too, because they want to put the cancer clinic in Bracebridge. Well, that's 30 more minutes down the road. That's on a good day. I'm sure that in February, and I have to go. My treatments, my myeloma is treatable, but it's not curable. I will never be cured of this cancer the way it stands right now. The treatment's available to me right now. Now, that might change in a year or two because there's a lot of progress that way. Right now, I have to go 3 times a week out of 5, once a week. The treatment, it's not very nice, not a nice treatment. It's, I have a port in my chest, and they give me 2 bags of IV and chemicals, and the nursing staff is fully gowned, they double glove. So that's the stuff they're putting in me that keep the cancer under control. When I finish the treatment, I'm sick as a dog. I don't feel good. I go to test, I go home, and I go to sleep. I go to bed, wake up. I might eat something, I might not, just as quickly as I might be in the bathroom because something's happening, something's coming out of me one way or the other. And that's the reality of my cancer. Now, it's not a poor me story. I'm telling you this just to give you more background of why it should be further away. The further you put that, the more risk I'm going to be on the side of the road, or cancer patient going to be on the side of the road, having a very embarrassing moment. And that's the problem. That's the human side of this move. And, the other treatments are even worse than what I have. Some of them are not so bad. They're not as aggressive, but there are others that people carry bottles. You probably see them with bottles around their neck. And I know a friend of mine who went there, and he had liver cancer. He's passed away. But when he had that bottle on, all he wanted to do was go to Sunridge. That's where he had to go. And he was lucky to get there without someone. Again, you're going to make it further. So, in collaboration, going back in collaboration with the staff there, the petition was created. And that's all the staff, not just the nursing staff. I had discussions with the doctors there, with the support staff there. And the nursing staff are trained. We even see them when we're there. They have up-to-date training. They're always on the computer taking a course because the cancer treatments always change. So these people are trained in what they do. Again, my treatment put me in an anaphylactic shock 3 times. They knew exactly what it was immediately. And I didn't. I mean, I'm sick to my stomach. I want to vomit. My throat's closing off, so I can't vomit. I can't talk. They know exactly what's going on. They stopped the IV. They gave me this wonderful drug called liquid Benadryl. fly higher than a kite with liquid benadryl, by the way. Wonderful drug. My throat opens up, but everyone's fine. I'm flying off the chair. Everyone's floating around because I'm seeing like 3, 4 people. I see one person, but it's kind of floating around like ghosts. They knew what to do, when to do it right away. And yeah, I can laugh at it now. But at the time when you're trying to gasp for air, it's not funny. So those are the dedicated people. The doctors are right there. They know what to do. They're trained to help you make sure that you're going to get through this. And then they always come to you and say, hey, and Dr. Jindal has wonderful bedside manner. So does Dr. Small. And they come to you and they say, they sit down with you. If you have any concerns, you take the time to do that. Again, you're going to move that race bridge. Dr. Jindal has a practice in Huntsville. I'm not so sure he's going to move the Bracebridge. You're going to lose that one doctor for sure. Find a doctor in these communities and the nursing staff. That's not easy to do. It just isn't. So you're taking something that's working and you're going to move it in hopes that they're going to follow. They wouldn't have helped me make this petition if they were going to follow. Okay. Putting it out there. So, so that I'm going to leave it really at that. And if you have any questions about it, I'm always here to answer questions. I'm very open. Jerry knows me very well. I don't hide behind anything. It's the answer I have. I didn't want to become the public person. I wanted to be quiet. I wanted to retire. I wanted to go fishing because Jerry knows I help with the hatchery. I love walleye fishing. And I love to hunt. So I didn't want, like, neither did Leah. She spent 39 years working. She was ready to retire. She did retire. And now we're on Hawaii again. It's the last place we really wanted. We just wanted to retire, enjoy our grandchildren. We have a hunt camp, enjoy the camp, but this is important. I feel it's important. I feel it's very important to us. And I'm talking about the impact on me. Leah has to drive me everywhere. If I'm having treatment, I'm not driving home. There's no way. And one thing, it doesn't just impact me. It impacts the person that's helping the cancer patient. The person who's helping me get through it. And whether that's your partner, spouse, family member, it doesn't matter. It has an impact on them as well. Okay. So we're going to end it with Leah's going to read this letter from Jody McPherson, who is now retired. She spent many years in the cancer clinic. So I'll let Leah read the letter.
So I'm not Jody McPherson, but I'm talking on behalf of Jody. Jody, my name is Jody McPherson, and I've been an employee at Huntsville District Memorial Hospital for 36 years. For the past 27, I have worked in the chemo-oncology ambulatory care unit. When I began working in the unit, it was staffed by a single nurse and was only open 4 hours twice a week. Today, the unit is open 5 days a week, 8 to 4, and is staffed by 4 to 5 nurses daily. This tremendous growth has been supported by Dr. Sanjay Jindal, who has covered clinic patients since the early 1990s, and also by Dr. Allison Small, who has assisted covering oncology patients for the last 20 years. Another big contributor to the growth was Dr. Brian Murat. He established his Remicade treatment clinic over 20 years ago. These additional patients' visits allowed to increase nursing staff and secure safe care for oncology cancer patients. Together with the help of other staff, nurses, managers, and leaders, the clinic has developed into a caring, compassionate service that supports many members of our community. The clinic has alleviated the burden imposed by living many hours drive from either the Sudbury or Barrie cancer centers. It has lessened travel times and associated expenses, eliminating the need for overnight stays in communities far from home, decreased missed hours of work for family and caregivers, and has allowed development of better patient care networks locally. The availability of a local doctor in clinic has decreased the number of emergency room visits needed by local oncology patients and greatly improved the quality of our life of our community members with a cancer diagnosis. It has allowed for equitable access to supportive care for our community members north of Huntsville. Historically, chemotherapy was offered both in Huntsville and Bracebridge sites. It was determined approximately 13 years ago maintaining 2 sites in our area diluted nursing staff, experience, and expertise way too much. Also, maintaining 2 chemotherapy pharmacies was too costly, as a special biological safety hood is required to mix chemotherapy drugs safely. Again, the pharmacy staff requires special training and expertise as well. Huntsville site also has dedicated medical staff covering consistently for nearly 30 years. And plans are in place for recruitment for future medical coverage is in place. Huntsville was chosen as the logical site as it serviced our community to the north better and ensured equitable access. During COVID, the Bracebridge ambulatory care site was closed related to staffing and planning issues. The site was reopened approximately 2 years ago and is deemed as a single site. 2 years ago, as it was deemed that a single site did not service the district well enough. Chemotherapy remained exclusively at the Huntsville site. Personally, I have great concerns with the current plans to single site all oncology, chemo, and ambulatory care to the Bracebridge site. This is shown in the current architectural drawings. It has already been proven that a single site does not work, in fact, failed to meet the needs of the community. I also have concerns over the concentration of services to the southern region of our district. This would mean an increased drive of 30 minutes driving for our northern residents who already drive 45 minutes or an hour to Huntsville in good weather. Residents of Bracebridge and Gravenhurst do have a second option of chemotherapy in Aurelia. Aurelia Hospital offers outpatient chemotherapy within a 30-minute drive for both of these communities. The Berry Cancer Center is also much closer for residents of Bracebridge and Gravenhurst. I feel that there is a wonderful opportunity to create 2 properly serviced ambulatory care clinics at each site with the planned hospitable rebuilds. We could maintain cancer care and oncology care in Huntsville, creating equitable access for all residents. We would have 2 properly outfitted units with access to planned supportive infrastructure, wall oxygen and suction, proper access to utilities, hygiene spaces for patients and staff, decreased crowding, and improved confidentiality for patients. Currently, both units work out of retrofitted spaces, which are workable but certainly have limitations and drawbacks. Our northern community populations are only going to grow and will need access within reasonable distance. Now is the time to ensure proper planning and implementation occurs. This will only happen if we petition in a clear and direct manner for accessible services for our communities. I'm happy to answer any questions, provide clarity as best as needed. Please bring your questions to Austin or Leah. They may email me. Thank you for your time, Jody McPherson. So I'm just going to say a few personal words. You maybe already know who I am, but I spent a lot of years in this particular community. So when Austin says he goes to Huntsville and he sees people that he knows, trust me, I know a lot of people as well. And when you see those people in Huntsville, you know that this Huntsville oncology clinic is being used by Almaguin residents. And he is right. The bulk of the driving falls on the caregiver. And you even have people now that I know of that have moved from Magnetawan to even Huntsville who will have a difficult time finding rides to even Bracebridge to have services. And you even know people in your own community here even have trouble even getting to Huntsville. But that's besides the point, and that's a whole nother ball of wax. But it is so important that we maintain the services, because you all know what's happened in Berks Falls when we moved here in 1996. 87.
87.
It was a working hospital, and you know all the struggles. I'm sure I don't have to tell you about that. You know, being from Armour Township, you know those struggles. I don't want Huntsville to become one of those. So anyway, that's it. I'm open to questions, and we're people that you're not going to see any update on Facebook. We're not Facebook people, but we have gone to the news. So you may see articles in the paper because we want people to know in this community. And when you talk to them and they don't know anything about it, that's not right. Public consultation needs to happen.
Just one more thing I left out. If you live in Bracebridge, you have an option. You can literally go to Huntsville. You can go to Aurelia. Both have full cancer clinics. Both drives are shorter than me going from Magnetawan to Huntsville.
Put it out there.
Let you know that. So I don't know where this is equitable if it's going down to Bracebridge.
Now, so Austin and Leah were at our last health council meeting, so we have 10 of the municipalities represented there, but Cheryl Harrison, the CEO of the hospital, was there for that meeting and talked length about this. So I think if we put our support behind this, final decisions haven't been made. I mean, they've got drawings, they had to put plans in to try and get the funding, but at the end of the day, things can still change. So I think it's important that we show our support for this region. And when it comes down to it, as they're looking at it, not that it's going to sway things necessarily, but at least we've got a voice and we've kind of made a case for this. And I appreciate you guys. I know you're doing the
And everybody we can.
Doing the road tour.
We're doing the road show.
Yes, this is the fourth council.
Fourth council,
Fourth
and then
council.
we came to your.
So we have Sunridge tomorrow, and then in June we have Perry and Huntsville already on the docket, and then I'm talking to Berks Falls as well in June. And Whitestone is in June, and Jolly and Southford will be in June as well.
It's a huge area because when you look at the servicing, like we have friends in Dunchurch, and I also know because I did work part-time out of Huntsville. I mean, you also have the Halliburtons, like Huntsville is huge. So moving it to Bracebridge just means that much more travel for those people. Now, when the cancer clinic started in Huntsville, it had an agreement with Sudbury. So that meant Sudbury was a lot of those first 1 day, 4 hours a day people, but there is still people who get servicing out of, they have an oncologist out of Sudbury, I guess is what I should say. And then they get their chemo treatments out of Huntsville that live in our area too as well.
Yeah.
So,
that's big territory. Any questions from council?
Sort of the reason they're like, because we've heard the conversations about what's like the two hospitals, one hospital, whatever. So it's not the result of building two new hospitals, but we're going to put the facilities. That's where that starts.
It's part of it. So they've already made the switch with cancer, if I'm not mistaken. They kind of most of the services in Huntsville at the
always done in Huntsville.
I've been there. So the now that they're essentially building one big hospital with two campuses, that's one way to look at it.
Right.
The thought is from a cost point of view, it makes more sense to have everything centralized in one location. Trying to split up. So obstetrics is the other one that came up. Having obstetrics in both didn't make sense economically, and it didn't make sense for having the best staff available all the time. So that theory behind it. So they're in this tricky spot where they're trying to live within their means to some degree, but they have to make tough decisions around where services go. But in some cases, there's was obviously the convenience factor of being able to access the services and to if they have the ability in Bracebridge to go somewhere else, because it really is not very far from Bracebridge. But up here, we don't have that option. And that's the situation from that point of view.
And they've never had it in Bracebridge. They've never had it.
Never had full service.
So they either had to go to Aurelia, or they had to come up to Huntsville, or they'd go to Barrie. I mean, we were fortunate because initially that's where all the treatments were going to be out of was Barrie. And then talking to the doctors, and then even Huntsville said, well, we've sort of done one of these treatment plans, because cancer is not like you go in, you're diagnosed, you get a plan, you go home, and then you fill the plan. It changes. And for Austin on the second line treatment, they weren't sure if they were going to do it in Huntsville, but they had somebody else that they had just completed that. So they knew what the treatment was like, what to do. And so we were fortunate that we went there and we got that. Otherwise, we'd be traveling and beating the roads to Barrie every week, which not fun. Yeah, that's a
Logistics point, you're like, that makes sense that, like, if you're gonna put somebody driving from South River or even Sunridge, you're gonna go to North Bay or you're gonna go to Huntsville.
Yeah.
But if you're in Bracebridge, you can go to Aurelia or Barrie. I mean, you're doing the same distance, so I mean, logic, distance. Bracebridge, you're putting two clinics close together and making a larger void.
Yeah, you got it. That's the point.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what we're trying to do is make, I think the other point I'd like to make right now is there's been no public consultation on the actual services. There's public consultation on sites, one site, two sites, but now they've divvied up the services, but there's been no public consultation really on those services in each hospital. They're coming to light now because they've had to tell the staff, probably under collective bargaining agreements, union stuff. And I mean, I worked in corrections. I know what it's like to work in a bargaining union shop. So there's certain things they have to do if they're going to start transferring your workplace, and you have to do it ahead of time. There's really not talk to the public about this. So that's where this is coming from too, is just to make people aware.
Yeah.
And have a voice. Have a voice.
So we do have a resolution related to this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, reading this resolution, so we can do that while you guys are still here. Be it resolved that the Council Township of Armour wishes to thank Austin Toth and his delegation and presentation to council. Further, that council supports the retention of the cancer clinic oncology clinic at the Huntsville Memorial Hospital site. And further, that council directs staff to allow the collection of signatures via copy of the petition available to the public at the municipal office. Further, the council send a letter of support to MPP Graydon Smith and appropriate members. Sure. Jared. That's carried. And we appreciate you guys coming in.
Okay, do we have a copy of the petition here?
Everything. It's ready to go for tomorrow morning.
We hit the front door in the morning.
Thank you.
And if you need more signature copies, please let me know. I'll go ahead and come out, get them and pick them up. I'll leave it with this, that I'd like to give it to the health critic, the NDP, France, Helena. And she is willing to take it in and present it to the legislature. I asked Graydon Smith first, and Graydon said he's a minister right now. He could not present it as such. So I just want you to be aware of that. I thought that he's our MPP representative, so I gave him the offer to say, do you want to do this? And that was the response we got. So
Prince is great. She'll give you a voice for sure.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Hopefully it's a screaming voice in there. Thank you.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.
See you later, Drew.
Yeah.
Thank you. everyone.
Here.
Okay, we are on to our second delegation, which is Danica with our May 2026 report, annual report and fancy diagrams in the whole bit.
Oh yeah, don't get used to it. So it was supposed to be my 2025 annual that one day you'll get at like a normal time. But now it's coming to you in May. Now honestly, now with our new program, this will be like a walk in the park. I've sent Dave quite a few variations and he okayed this one. So was there any, you guys all have seen it?
Yep.
Was there any questions? Kind of like try to make it as self-explanatory as possible.
The breakdown's great. It's really easy to follow.
Nice color.
Thanks.
I will definitely take the blame on the timing to get this out. Danica and I have been working kind of back and forth since probably January when she submitted her first report. And I think the importance that I was hoping would be driven home as it is in this report was some of the investment that goes in, some of the revenues that are generated to give really a full picture of what's happening at the KCC. I know that there's been some back and forth with individuals over the last number of years since we've been growing the program. And I think what I was hoping to bring forward, which is again is in this report, is the notion that this has gone well beyond the Green Community Center in any time previous to this, and we are now seeing, like, I think the activation is 289 times activated last year alone, goes a lot further beyond just a couple of euchre games a month, or a couple of euchre games and a couple of jamborees, which all great events, all great things. But I think it goes to show the use of the capacity that has been created because of the investment in not just the KCC as a facility, but in our staff keeping all of these programs alive and active for our community members, and not just for Armour Township, for the entire area. So I think this report accurately reflects that. So thank you for your patience, Danica.
Thanks for yours.
And working with us to get a report going.
Well, this was the vision when all this was coming together, not just the fact that we got the renovations at the KCC, but the fact that we got staff and we started to build up that whole department. So it's fantastic to see, and it's brought the whole community to life. And I think when you look at the results, the nicest thing is it's all age groups. So it's kids, it's families, it's older folks, senior citizens. So that's what you want to see. Whereas before it tended to be focused in one particular area. Now it's across the board. It's excellent.
One thing that sticks out in my mind, go on page 20. If you're a young male and you want to meet women, there's a lot of women. It sort of sticks out in the graph. Like,
It was neat to see, and we don't really have their paperwork or anything from the old committee. Was running it previous to Armour Township. We don't have any of that, but just knowing from working with them and volunteering with them, the amount of rentals that they did have, averaged about 6 a year. So we're averaging about some weeks it's 6 a week, depending on kind of what we're looking at, not necessarily just rentals, but uses. Rentals itself, I would say easily every weekend. There might be a handful out of the year that's but no, it's not the budget this year. If we had another building, we could easily rent it. Like the affordable rentals around here are yeah.
Especially for a nice facility.
I think might be an error with the bar revenue. $82.
Where are you?
Armour Rec annual report, event programs from Indian.
It's 19 on the agenda.
Cornhole is
Yeah.
6,100, Christmas market's 550, baseball tournament's 3,200, bar revenue is $82.
You take that away and double check that. I'm wondering if that's net profits after paying people, and so you'd think it would be more. So we'll take a look at that.
So in 2025, we didn't really do many bar. Like we didn't. So if somebody rented, we didn't do the bar. Now that's the only way it goes. So I can't really speak to that. I will go back and look, and then I'll keep you updated. Like, so say cornhole, it would be that those profits would be in cornhole. It's not necessarily just bar. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, so during the cornhole event
So
includes the bar revenue.
Bar rent
that event.
or bar revenue might just be from a one-off rental that has access to come in.
Oh, okay, so like the baseball tournament, that might also include the bar revenue? Okay.
Yeah.
So I found it important to get a solid baseline for results across a multitude of factors, which I think is accurately reflected here. understanding that reporting year over year, you build out on what you're reporting on, and then some of the metrics change here or there. But this gives us a good baseline to compare year over year over year. And again, I think it's a tool ultimately, like any other kind of report like it. It's a tool to sell the value behind what North has built and what the staff have built through this program.
It also makes it very easy to see what to continue and very easy to see what may not be worthwhile. Sorry.
With our new program, we'll be able to see on next year's report or this year's report, sorry, will be the use, like who is attending, is coming pairs from Armour attending our baseball, fall hockey, yada yada. Our day camp is very heavily actually Emsdale, Huntsville. So you'll be able to see those numbers through next year. It was with our system we had last year, it's many systems to create one.
Trying to pull it all.
There was a lot. You would have paid more in hours to figure that out. So we're starting with bare bones. Are there any other questions?
That's excellent, Danica. Appreciate that.
Getting there.
Any questions for Danica? Keep up the good work.
Danica would like all council and some staff to play in the ball tournament. July 3rd and
Really noted.
Arlene's unavailable, but she's used that excuse, so
Come up with your own shit thing.
we've also tried to use hers, but that's a no-go.
Just an update on, I know I didn't do a May update because we haven't met and we won't meet again until September. But just an update, yesterday morning for our soccer, we had 18 kids for ages 1 to 4. The afternoon, we had 33 kids, ages 1 to 4. And every one of those children had 5 family members that came with them. And then the evening for ages, I'm going to mess this up, I believe it's 5 to 10, 16 kids. That field was just booming. And the amount of feedback about how well Armour Council and staff have been was just phenomenal to hear. We're very happy with this to see what's been going on at that place and more throughout Armour itself.
I think if we want to make some incredible revenue, we should get parents to consent to GoPros on 2-year-olds playing soccer. We will be rich.
It is a sea of
Cutest, the cutest thing ever.
Might have to mute it.
I mean, entertaining if it's not.
No. Thank you, Danica.
Thank you. I am going to sneak out.
You're welcome to stay if you want.
Oh, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done with delegations, no accounts for approval. We're on to application. So I'll read the site plan agreement application in, and then we can have some feedback from Char on this one. I think we have a couple interested in this one. So.
That's right.
Okay, Council Township of Armour accepts the application for site plan approval submitted by 1000613-806 Ontario Inc. Vestering, plan number 199 lot 16, described as 390 Kent Road, and request the municipal planner proceed with drafting the site plan agreement. So if we can get a mover to get it on the table, Rod. Seconder, Dorothy. Okay, so over to you, I guess, Shar, for any background on this one.
So this one is a demo rebuild of Kent Road. And as you can see, there's a limited building envelope. And with the rebuild, it will be meeting the minimum regulatory flood elevation of 323.8. So it's got to go up quite a bit, but and the Schedule C will be attached to that site plan agreement when it comes back to you with the soil study. That's also attached to the application. It's pretty straightforward. We've done quite a few demo rebuilds on the north end of Pickerel. But
And this was in the area that was affected by the flooding recently, correct?
But if you have any specific questions for the property owner, Tara Vestering is on.
Okay. Any questions for Tara? Yeah. It's been pretty straightforward. Okay. Any other questions from council? All those in favor? And that's carried. So you're on to site plan approval there, Tara. Next stage. 7. We're already into reports. Okay. The Health Council minutes are from the April 2nd meeting, so I believe we've already talked about this one. Nothing else to follow up on that one. The only thing that's mentioned here, I think we talked about in our last meeting, was the infographics report that came out for the Health Council. So that's the only update. On to the arena report for May 2026. That's item number 8. So report from Graham.
There's actually 3 reports in that item number 8. You've got the May report, a capital purchase report, and a no charge / reduced rate report.
Yeah, so the no charge report was interesting. In terms of how much free time is being allocated. I'm not sure we can do much about it, just acknowledge that we're doing it. I think it's important to show that you're.
Well, being a community center, that shows that the community is using it.
Absolutely.
That's what it's could be.
Yeah.
The only thing that I asked for clarification on that one, I haven't heard back yet, but I don't see the Lions Club Halloween listed there.
Oh, you're right.
And the Historical Society is always partnered. So if the Lions Club has had to pay in the past, then I think that going forward, the Historical Society should be chipping in because they co-host with them.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to hear back on some clarifications, whether it was just missed or maybe.
I don't think there's a charge.
Yeah, I didn't want to jump to conclusions, just assuming that because they're not on the report. But if they are, I just want to, if they are going forward, I'd like to mention the Historical Society should chip in.
It might have been the Lions Club.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because I think the Historical Society just helped the Lions Club.
Well, we asked to because we stopped hosting the event and
I think it would be important to highlight that the hockey program is for youth, but it's because it's a not profit, right? The high school it's not just a program for youth. Almost all of the programs we do there are for youth. So that's not why it was reduced. It was reduced because it's a high school program, right? Because it's not reduced for winning techniques or anything else.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is exactly.
It's reduced for winning techniques.
Yeah, because they had an old contract and the contract is old. So they have a lot of hours that they are banked. If you read the report, that's in there.
That's the tree.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't think that was okay.
Any questions that we want to pass back to Graham? It's good. It's a good report.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next up is the Historical Society meeting minutes of May 18th.
Just summarize the conversation with fundraising ideas. There's gonna maybe form another committee to see what we can come up with to try to get some money going or fundraising ideas, not necessarily just a one-off. We're actually looking at maybe doing a cookbook or something along those lines with a cookbook, reaching out to everybody. I mean, I think it's kind of cool. You've got generations of amazing recipes and like a story to back it up in the book. I think it would be a wonderful cookbook / coffee table.
That's a good idea, actually.
I think so.
Pictures of the people making the recipe.
Right.
1800s recipes.
But there's other ideas circulating as well. I like the cookbook idea because that one was mine. Well,
Could be how to cook with wood.
yeah, it's in there too. No.
Excellent. Any questions for Sean? Okay, we have the East Home for the Ages Spring 2026 newsletter in here. Tricky read. Next up, we have Tri-Council Subcommittee.
So I can take that one on behalf of Wendy if you'd like.
Sure.
So did not meet on October 19th. Wow, wrong month, Dave. May 19th, we elected not to as there was no significant feedback from any of the participating councils on the draft agreement. Per our update at the last meeting, there was a number of minor changes that needed to be made from an administrative perspective. So those changes have been recommended and forwarded on to the group. And so we are awaiting a finalized copy. A lot of it would just have to do with we adjusted parts of the agreements. There were section references that were no longer appropriate. So we went back and adjusted a lot of those, as well as looked at a couple of other minor items. But by and large, nothing of substance that I think we need to go over in any great detail. Most of it's administrative changes. So that's it for that. We are anticipating that all council should get to see the finalized agreement prior to the June 22nd tri-council. So we should have the opportunity to approve them all in principle and lock them down.
No major issues, so it should be fine.
No major issues.
We've confirmed that the KCC has been reserved that date too for June 22nd.
Good.
Hosting.
Okay. Excellent. Questions for Dave on the tri-council meeting? Okay. Next up is the ACE Housing Task Force. So I'll let Dave take this one because I missed the first hour of that meeting.
Yeah, the Coles notes for the Housing Task Force. We did receive, Courtney provided an overview of programs and news that has changed over the last 6 months or so. And provided a few updates. We did have a few updates from members with respect to different programs that and different initiatives they're undertaking, specifically from the District of Muskoka, who also has a housing task force. The main bullet point to come out of it was I provided an overview of a housing needs assessment workshop that I took early in May, and we passed that around to see if that would be something we either wanted to look at individually as municipalities using the federal template, or to see if we could partner a number of municipalities together. Through that meeting, we discovered that the DSAB is currently going through the process of developing a housing needs assessment. So the takeaway from the meeting was that I've now reached out to the DSAB to see if there's any way we can partner, whether it's even just for local narratives, providing local narratives or local intel. They've been very responsive. We're working with them to see if there's any opportunity moving forward. I know that Megan had offered to meet the tweak at some point to discuss. But I have yet to lock down a date, and that's mostly from my end of things, just being fairly busy. But so we will continue that conversation and see if there are ways we can discuss that. And failing that, if it's more appropriate for us to look at more community specific, there are resources that are available. So we'll keep that one relatively brief. But housing need assessment is one.
Yeah, we're not doing an update at the Very Sound District meeting this week. There's no huge update. Yeah, no, it went the last meeting. So
well, I think if we keep them, if we do another one in the fall, that'll be our third of year of giving an annual update, just housing on people's minds and partnerships towards housing initiatives.
There will be a DSAP report given at the ready on homelessness and whatnot.
Yeah.
That could be touched on that.
yeah. Okay. Excellent. Any questions for Dave on the task force? All right. Next up, May 20th Library Board meeting.
My notes are in the truck, so you can either leave me to the last and I'll run out, or I take a breath and I'll run out right now.
Well, why don't we skip past it?
Right.
And you're up next again, and actually probably the next 2 are yours. Egg Society and Hazmat Day. Do you want to, all it?
I'll run out. I'll just do that.
Oh, you got the other ones with it, eh?
That's have a musical interlude. Commercial break. Actually, while we're waiting for Rod to come back, Jerry, why don't you do the hatchery program update now?
Sure. Well, this year was a fantastic year. We were able to be very successful in hatching a lot of fry again this year. We were given this year a license to go to Lake Seaseed this year. and look for spawning beds with our hoop nets. And our first day, we had 4 small walleye in a 24-hour period. Our second day, we had 0 in a different location. Our third day, we got 8 suckers. And on our fourth day, in a known walleye spawning bed on M&R mapping, I think there was 5 or 6. And so at the end of the 4-hour periods, I said that's enough. Austin agreed. And our netting at Magneto and below the locks was full every day. So that sort of tells us that Lake CC maybe need some assistance. So when I took the nets back the net back to Parry Sound, I gave that information to our biologist and informed her of our findings. And she was appreciative of that and said that might help us. And she informed me that Lake CC will be getting a biomass this year. They're supposed to do that about every 5 years, but I think it's been 6 or 7. I'm not 100% certain on that. But in order for a biomass, they set a net, a gill net. And what it does, it kills the fish. So they go every day in that net, count all the different seas. And that way, if they have to do any sort of biological tests or anything like that, for maybe there's a reason why the fish are diseased or whatever, they'll be able to ascertain that. So the biologist is going to let me know when that's going to happen. And it'd be nice to be able to put in the lake with them and help them out. And, get reports on how many fish are there and what fish are there. Well, we know we got crappie there now. We used to have rock bass, but they've gone down due to the crappie. And we know that the walleye's gone down due to the crappie being introduced. There is still pike and there's still bass. We know that. But the walleye's taken a bit of a hit. I know I've talked to a lot of people and I pass that on to our biologists that people fishing in the winter get very poor luck with walleye. However, you didn't hear from me, but Amic is doing okay. But also this year, we're in the second year study of Wally Lake, putting fry in there. So we put 250,000 fry in that lake, which will help the other area lakes. It gives another choice for someone to go fish in.
Right.
And that's year 2 there, and year 3 will be next year, and then after that it'll be try and find out of any success that's happening in Wally Lake as a scientific study. And then this year we're also given a lake in Whitestone to go to. We put 500,000 fry in Gooseneck Lake in Whitestone. So we are following our mandate of a 10-year watershed plan. Just need another trailer. That's where we're heading next.
That's awesome.
We're going for authority status to hopefully be able to give tax receipts out to people. And it's a long vision and it could be years away from expanding. But in order to do a 10-year watershed plan and get the economic viable area back to where it used to be able to go catch fish and just, you really notice this year, Magneto with the hatchery set up and the amount of boat traffic in Amic. This year was a lot more than what I've seen in a long time. So a lot of people were not from the area, but they're coming here because they know they're catching fish.
Good fish.
They just don't know where to fish yet. So I sent them to CC.
Oh, boy.
In order, a lot of them wanted to go catch crappie. And so I sent them to CC for a simple reason. You can get big crappie in CC right now. And it's good to decrease the numbers.
Get them out.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Jim.
anyways, it's It was a long day at the office, the last day of cleanup, but right now I have both trailers. And not only that, we're gonna be doing road tours again this year. We're doing Prairie Sound, Sunridge, Sunflower Festival, Sunridge Fair, Birch Falls Fair. And I got a call to go to Bracebridge. So that's gonna be huge. Pioneer Days.
Pioneer Days.
And looking forward to that one, because that could be icing on the cake.
Yeah.
That one. So, yeah,
Excellent.
we're getting well recognized, so it's huge.
Good for Magna.
Absolutely.
Good.
So you are going to Birch Falls Fair? When
Yeah.
we weren't sure when it, okay,
I just said, yeah.
okay.
I think I told you, yeah.
I wasn't.
It's okay.
That's
Just assume. We'll go.
Okay, we're back to Rod's reports from library board.
Everything of this paperwork chart. No town, we're gonna be town the last while. Service. So we're still talking about the outreach. Service that we're gonna go to the seniors. Seniors buildings. It'll be. Nieves had years ago, it started library service at Monteith. We do the same for the seniors. Somebody will go down once a month with. Just to start out, just go down, see what somebody wants to read, and then they'll be able to take that books that somebody might be interested in the next visit. They missed the fundraiser, but there's a fundraiser. It used to be the building committee. Now they've changed their format to a fundraising committee, so they're hanging heads together to raise money for a new bill. They're gonna money into coffers for that. Did some policies. The other thing I'm supposed to be doing is, when the Friends of the Library do their fundraising. The request was we have the Friends of the Library get a reduced to the point where no fee at the community center, at the Katrine Community Center, because it's definitely a fundraiser for the community. Some fundraisers don't make any money, so it's sort of a detriment of sort of really starting to use it for the facility.
We have a reduced rate of 50% for all nonprofits.
Could they use the library, the arena, since all of us pay for the arena, just like all of us pay for the library?
It's just certainly an open for conversation. It was just, I was supposed to bring this up last meeting, I forgot. We knew there was a reduced fee, but the bonus were reduced to no fee, would be appreciated. You're right about maybe that's a fundraiser. I mean, logistics would be the fundraiser should be in Works Falls, which would make sense at the arena, but to be the argumentative side. Katrine is still the community. It's actually nice that they're going to do fundraising, not just at the library door. It would be a little further afield. Don't know if they've ever asked the arena for reduced fee or no fee.
Well, like when we checked the arena budget just a minute ago, it spoke to the hours that were used for our meetings or their meetings, meetings, or their staff events. But that was not our staff events. That was not our council meetings. That was simply their staff events or their council meetings or our try. We did participate in try, but that's not taken out of the budget when we host the meeting at Armour, right? Or at the KCC. So I don't see why it wouldn't just be utilized within the community.
Yep. Those are the high points of that.
You guys meet at the library board meet in summertime? Or they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They missed the last month's meeting.
It was April.
Yeah.
Next up is the Ag Society, May 21st.
We're pushing ahead. We'll have the entertainment book. We've got a couple new members on there that are very like energetic to be doing things. I have been busy to get my little projects done, so somebody else is taking them off my shoulders. Yeah, it's still plugging along. It's
All on target.
there's nothing exciting. I won't say nothing new that brings it up. I have to come in and talk to and ask about the booking our bounces again next year, like for the fall. I left it a little bit late last year, but
Yeah.
it's on my list for Thursday. How's that day?
Yes.
Interesting. I've never participated, I've never volunteered. I participated on one occasion. Just from our pre-conversation, there's, in my opinion, there's room for improvement to make things run smoother. It can be, I think we could be processing vehicles very in a faster manner than what we were. But it's interesting, I got to chat to the lady that does the hazmat, travels around. She's the one that sets it up, and where her name was. It was the one thing I did. I was like, is anything that comes in, does it generate funds? And she said the only thing that we were just at the time we were just restocking some batteries. She said the only thing that generates anything is the batteries. She said the most expensive thing to process was the light bulbs. So what's in a thermometer?
Mercury.
The mercury batteries or the mercury light bulb, she said, are very expensive. She highlighted as like I won't do a quote, but it was like per ton. She said it was like phenomenally expensive to recycle those.
Yeah.
It
Was well attended.
was well attended. It was busy. For the first 2 hours, it was steady. It wasn't overwhelming. I chatted to people that have attended multiple years in the past, and they said we were by no means overwhelmed. It was like we were waiting for cars to come forward to dump their rigging off, and it was pretty well done. Like people were leaving by 12:30. It was sporadic after that.
I think there's another one there.
Well, and they said the spring ones were always busier than in the fall. Well, I said they don't anticipate it to be as busy as they were this time. I said the worst was right after COVID. They said that was how.
I was at that one. I remember. I don't think I volunteered for that one.
Yeah, they said that was the worst time they've had.
Lineups down the road.
It was good to see. It was well. Like I said, there was everybody brought, and there were certainly some people would bring their load of paint, and I unloaded several half tons with 5-gallon cans of oil. Like there's a lot of people throwing oil and lots of it. One person brought 3 45-gallon drums in the back of the truck, and they said we can't process that. Like they literally take anything
Yeah.
from a liter can to a 5 gallon can, and they pour it into a 250 gallon can. They literally could not process 45 gallon drums.
So what do people have to do with that then?
Take it home and put it in 5 gallon cans.
That'd be frustrating.
What are
Yeah.
we doing tonight?
And I mean, like, to be quite honest, like I stood back and watched, it was like the process of putting a 45 gallon drum on a truck.
That'd be a little tricky. Don't trip.
And three of them, like that, now the poor bugger's got to be moving it, take them on
You'd probably put a 45 gallon, an empty 45 gallon in the back of the truck and fill
and
it.
fill them up with 1 gallon.
It's right.
You know, no, it was interesting. I got more dirt on my hand, like my hands were dirtier from pizza than where they are. But I felt backwards, but I had to go and wash after eating pizza.
Watch that hazmat pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so KCC, you guys didn't meet in May, is that?
We did,
Oh, you did,
but at the
okay.
very first week of May.
Right.
Um,
And we got the report from, but I wonder if there's anything else you wanted to,
not other than baseball in July.
baseball in July.
We won't meet again until September.
Okay. All right, we're down to correspondence. And I think we'll press through correspondence and the unfinished business if we can make it. And then we'll find your business. So starting items 11 through 18.
11 is the resolution that you tabled, and for Creaser's input, and Dave Creaser is supportive of this.
Okay. So I will read this back in because we tabled it last month, or last meeting, I think. Council of the Township of Armour supports the municipality of Huron Shores and the town of northeastern Manitoulin and the islands, that the Ministry of the Environment reconsider the use of lighter grade oils for chip and tar surface treatment, or develop a suitable alternative in recognition of the reduced durability and increased maintenance costs experienced by municipalities. And Mr. Creaser, after reading through this and doing some research, has said that he supports this resolution.
Yeah.
Jerry? The seconder. All those in favor? Now carried. June is seniors month. And since I'm a senior now, I'm pretty excited. Right.
All year for this month?
That's,
Got your first check yet?
I did. Should have sent it to the kids. They laughed their heads off. The old man. Whereas seniors make valuable contributions to the Township of Armour through their experience, volunteerism, leadership, and involvement in the community. And whereas June is recognized across Ontario as Seniors Month to celebrate and honor older adults, now therefore be it resolved that the Council of Township of Armour hereby proclaims June 2026 as Seniors Month in the Township of Armour, encourages all residents to recognize and celebrate the contributions of seniors in our community. Dorothy moves, second.
Almost half of our council is seniors. We have to appreciate.
That's right. All those in favor, at least a couple of us.
Actually, more than half. Wendy's a senior.
Yeah.
60% of our council are senior citizens.
64.
64%.
You're close.
That's more of a senior 64.
You're 64. 80% of our council.
Okay, next is Council of Township of Armour supports the County of Prince Edward and requests the Government of Ontario amend the Municipal Act 2001 to grant Ontario municipalities the permissive authority to implement a vacant commercial storefront tax or similar levy to encourage the productive use of long-term vacant retail properties.
Sure.
Gary moves. Seconder on that one.
Sure. Just out of curiosity. The storefronts, the taxes, whether they're empty or not, do they not?
Yeah,
Good. Yeah.
There used to be a
they
point
want
in
to
time where
penalize them.
Pardon me?
They want to penalize them and make sure that the rental.
So that you have an added tax.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there used to be you used to be able to apply for a tax rebate for being able to prove that your apartment was vacant. And in a lot of cases, they fought for the right to remove that vacancy rebate because they felt it was incentivizing downtowns to not fill up. So this is the next step beyond that, and in actually taxing them additional amount.
So it's a tax on it. It's an extra tax because they're already paying tax.
Yeah, it's for being empty.
That so much. If you have a business that has failed and you're like, okay, I can't continue to pay my staff, I can't keep things on the shelves, I have to close. Fantastic, you need to pay us more in
And that's
taxes.
what I'm getting at. That is like they're not open because they're making money.
That's-
And I mean, maybe somebody could be, well, let's try it in the summer months, but we're not going to do it in the winter months. Like I got anybody that opens a store in November in North Falls, are tough luck. I mean, you only got a few months. So I agree with Dorothy. You're really, somebody's got a business. And if it's closed for a reason. It's not closed because they're going on holidays. It's closed because they're not making money.
You're not paying taxes and a mortgage potentially. Because you don't wish to make money, right? Like, it's not.
Well, there's a lot of councils that are also actively working against something. There are examples in Almaguin of downtown storefront areas that are all now residential. They've just converted them all into apartments, and then now they're starting to try to pass legislation to stop that happening. So there's a lot of control over what happens with storefronts, and to that point, if there's no viable business that has come forward to use that, then it does present some challenging circumstances.
I think if somebody owns something, far be it from, I understand this is not our municipality, but far be it from us to say we're going to charge you extra for not doing what we think you should do with this property.
Yeah, I agree. That's where I agree 100%. If my business isn't doing well, it's going to do less well if I got to pay a tax because I can't afford to have staff. Like I'm going to afford less staff. I understand what the thought behind it is, but they're really penalizing somebody that might have tried. They did try and it didn't work. And you can't sell an empty storefront. Sorry.
Well, and if you own 8 stores in the downtown, eight storefronts in the downtown, and you were trying to rent them out, nobody wants to rent your space. We're going to charge you extra because you couldn't find a vendor for your space.
Well, the issue, maybe this is the case here, but you could have a case where there's essentially a slum landlord who buys up a bunch of properties and then leaves them vacant. But you can deal with that differently.
They're still paying taxes.
Or they're not.
This resolution is for long-term vacant retail property, so it's not like, oh, you've been vacant, your business shut down in a month. This is
It's more like derelict.
to provide municipalities the option to implement the long-term or this tax for properties that have been vacant for a long time.
I understand, like, and the downtown should be, lovely, and there should be, you don't want to walk past 3 empty stores to get to one store, right?
It's not automatic, it's just giving municipalities the authority to, because perhaps there is an issue where there's one person buying up these properties and just leaving them vacant for a long time.
But the town, the municipalities tax them. They've taxed them to death. They can't afford to have a business. And I understand, okay, so maybe people do buy storefronts and they're a write-off. It's a tax write-off and they don't want to spend any money on it. I don't doubt that would happen. But I don't agree with taxing somebody because they couldn't make a go of it. You're penalizing somebody because the economy's down. You're penalizing somebody because the market has changed. Like, we've all seen the businesses in Burke's Falls. Everybody's tried. Thank goodness people haven't to own the buildings. Somebody's given them the rent for free to try something.
This also doesn't say a timeline. It doesn't say if it's been vacant for 12 months, vacant for 24 months. It just says if it's vacant, we can charge you a tax. That's sticky.
Suffice it to say that I don't know that in this council meeting, we'd have the time to go over the complexities.
Okay.
And the use, like yeah, there's a lot of nuance to this. And I don't
I
think,
knew this one was gonna generate some conversation. I like throwing these ones in once.
Would my takeaway from this, because we don't live in Prince Edward County, is I would like to start recording the ways Dave tells me to be quiet. That are so politically correct and so polite.
Let us count the way.
yeah,
Today was the validity of this.
This is our last year.
I know.
this was actually a way of not starting off on a Dave diatribe from that development days. Because I can show examples where it might be exactly the thing that you want to have in place, but just to cover it off by saying it is very nuanced and very case specific. And if this legislation was to come forward, there would have to be specific qualifiers prior to a municipality instituting something like this, such as timeframes, recognition of efforts. So have you been trying to lease it? Have you kept your placard? And like there's a million things, right? We'll go into all of them now, but not inherently bad in and of itself, although you would have some people say that's just another level of control. If you have a property owner that owns properties here, there, and here, and uses one area as a loss leader, like there's a thing, then that's exactly the type of policy you want. So tools aren't inherently bad. It's how they're used that are so not bad in and of itself, not good in and of itself. It's kind of how it all rolls out.
It's a nice night. I would like you to give us all 1 million examples.
All right, buckle up. Sorry, folks on Zoom.
Okay, so
Thank you, Dave.
are we gonna take a recorded vote on this one? We've moved it and seconded it.
I'm for it.
All those in favor? I think I want to go for a tie vote.
Record it.
We're in a tie.
This did not happen to us often.
Tie.
Oh, what am I gonna do in this sweet moment? I don't like to disagree.
Defeated if you're time.
That's defeated. We've won. It's defeated. I wonder what Wendy would say. Okay. I believe that's it for those resolutions. Next is expanding capacity of jails. More people in jail.
Is this not so backwards? Like, not to say it's not needed, but
No, it's yeah. I know what you're gonna say. Next, we have the Canada's largest Beth project.
Find that interesting.
Has now is on budget and ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Let me just do the math here. 60 times the size of the one that is proposed for Armour Township.
and in Napanee, which is quite a small community.
Interesting. Next up. Was that zoning bylaw? Oh, this is the public meeting for the bylaw amendment for McMurray Monteith. I guess it's just an open house. Tuesday, June 16th. And the District of Perry Said Municipal Association meeting in on Friday. Okay. Next up, we are go through this unfinished business. What time we at? I think we can power through this. We have a letter from Bob Miller on a zoning bylaw amendment. This is the zoning bylaw amendment that was passed, I believe, in our last meeting. It's been in front of council numerous times, both the zoning bylaw and the official plan amendment. There was no public response to this application. There's been no other items have been raised. Bob has taken it out on his own initiative to send this letter, but our planner has already given us advice and we have followed it.
We have also spoken to our planner and they feel as though sufficient protections are in place currently. And sees no need to open this back up unless council unless council directs them to. I don't think there needs to be
Well, just. I read what Bob said. And somebody put it in other words. What's his concern? We're not dealing with.
Sure.
Well, from what I read, his concern and our current planner's concerns, our current planner, correct me if I'm wrong, our current planner for sure has no concerns. So there's no concerns.
So
Basically, what Bob is saying is that in this front page, that there's errors in the zoning bylaw that was proposed by our municipal planner, and that he feels that without the RU 107 in place, because we rezoned as RU 111, that
the last bit, but again, our municipal planner has we have no idea why it does that.
It came back fairly quickly.
Yeah, it did come back very quickly. So why
his recommendation is also to run this by Ed. So, I mean, we have passed everything and we don't, it's up to council whether they want to reopen this. You could be looking at, well, incurring additional charges on the applicant for the consent, delaying the notice of passing and the condition being satisfied, the potential legal costs from reaching out to Ed. We have a planner to represent the township now. And
I'm just putting the what if out there. Extra costs aren't an issue if we're done something wrong. But I mean, if our planner, I mean, we've always used Bob as our planner. So we have a planner's opinion, but it's just not going with Bob's opinion right now. So it's, as long as we still have our planners not concerned with Bob's overshadowing it, or he's.
Is our planner aware of Bob's concerns?
Yes.
No concerns.
Okay, then we're fine.
Yeah, I wanted to hear other words than Bob's, I guess.
So the main things to keep in mind are that we have, as Charlene has mentioned, we have planners, a planner professional recommendation, which we followed to put everything through the applicant went through all of the necessary and prescribed steps that they had to complete the operation they were completing. To open that back up based on this commentary cost the applicant significant more funds. It also puts into I guess a challenging situation our relationship with our municipal planners, because are we looping back around and saying we do not trust your professional advice, which is sound and accurate, and in my opinion, I have full faith in our planners, and they have reviewed the information, and we had actually requested that I hadn't requested, sorry, it was decided that a planning presence wasn't needed at this particular meeting because the planning opinion was sound.
Yeah, but I don't disagree with it 100%. And the fact that we've had enough planning issues over the years, it didn't generate any questions from, I'll use as locals, like people that it's going to
That
affect,
could
right?
be impacted. And we asked the questions around backlots, and council made a decision that was sound and based on our planner's advice.
I just, somehow I wanted to hear, other than Bob's words, what he was meaning.
Okay. So his opinion is noted. Next up, resolutions Township, Ryerson and Perry appointment for the East Home rep. So this is item number 25. And resolution, do we have a resolution for this one?
For which one? Carney? No.
So Carney was 20.
Oh, I'm jumping ahead. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I'm looking at new business. Resolution Town of Kearney retention of cancer care clinic. And so that's just a repeat of the one that we heard about today. So we'll see item 21.
The one-day merit hearing will take place on July 9th by video conference.
Plan to be online for that meeting here or? Item 22, the staff report for the spring flood updated draft after action report. So David, over to you.
Perfect. So the history of the staff report is I think kind of an abbreviated version of all of the information that follows. So we have provided I have provided the draft after action report. Why is in draft form is because our response efforts to the flooding are still ongoing. So you will see next steps listed in the report. You will also see the after action matrix at the end of the after action report, but we have not declared our significant weather event over. As some may be aware, we are still working through debris removal steps as late as yesterday, I should say. We did have a significant amount of trees and debris clogging some bridges. So a lot of that was removed yesterday, coordinated by our roads department. And there are still some repairs being completed. Some of what slowed the repairs down to the local road network was half loads being lifted on May 14th. So now those are finalized, I suspect in the coming days, if not the next week or so, that we'll be lifting the special weather event. So just an update on that. I will spend a bit of time working through the after action response effort updates. So number one, I'll be meeting with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing Provincial Disaster Assessment Team tomorrow to tour Katrine, as well as other locations, Burks Falls, and one in Ryerson as well. Meeting with business operators and permanent residents to assess the damage. So we've got all of our appointments scheduled for that. We have also been meeting with MMAH to provide an overview of aerial photography, not just from Katrine, but from the Kent Road area, as well as the Watts Dam during leading up to and after the peaking of the waters. So we have been keeping our information pipeline to them wide open to make sure they have all the information that we do to assist them with making their decisions. I do have here under point 2 suggestions from the April 18th public meeting, and there has been some communication with residents and applicants with respect to some of these items. So temporarily waiving demolition permit fees for residents in flood zones. So we did discuss a demo rebuild earlier this evening. This was something that was brought up by residents that will come back for council consideration. We have not yet had the time, as we're still involved with the immediate after response, to provide an overview of what that look like to council. So just something I wanted to keep on the burner. Expediting the permit and inspection process for the demo rebuild projects in flood zones. To a certain degree, this is happening. We received a call the week after the public meeting with some concern from a resident on Kent Road, looking to get some direction from our CBO, who was able to attend that day to meet with them on site to provide some information. So I think working through that on a case by case basis and trying to work through processes as best we are able is already underway. And then waiving landfill tipping fees for flood related materials for that program is currently active and being monitored. So we have removed the last bin from the Katrine Community Center, and residents who are in the affected areas will be asked for their address prior to dropping off flood damaged materials at the landfill. So their staff are equipped to get a name and an address and keep track of loads that are going in, because of course we have a shared landfill site and we have to keep track of what we're going in there. So those things are moving forward. There were other items from the public meeting, such as filling of sandbags or a sandbag filling station that has been discussed very briefly with our road supervisor, primarily around bringing in specialized equipment to load the bags. The notion of having a hopper there. Again, what you run into training, liability, number of ounces. As well as in the after action report, we do speak to a number of other items, such as awareness campaigns leading up to flooding season, and maintaining an accurate knowledge database so that people can access to prepare for where to find. There was a lot of links exchanged from the public regarding where you can find up to date or to the moment floodwater results, and just trying to find a way to promote preparedness as much as possible. With the last major flooding event happening in 2019 and the last one significantly before that, the frequency in these instances has certainly increased. So there's still some homework we have yet to do when immediate response measures are completed. But I wanted to get a draft after action report in front of council to keep these items top of mind as we continue to process through the immediate after action steps.
So short of having a policy in place for handling things like demo rebuild permit fees and the like, based on somebody having flood damage, is there an opportunity for us to do a bit of a one-off if somebody comes to us? So we've got the application in front of us tonight, actually, where they can come to us for relief, essentially, understanding that it's clear they were in a flood zone, and it's clear that they've got a lot of other costs to deal with, and maybe we could deal with that at the council, as opposed to, we'll eventually get a policy in place, but maybe in the interim we can handle it as a one-off. Is that feasible?
I like that idea. I'd like to go one step farther in regard to the flood relief and all the flood parts ended up in our landfill. I think we should put all that stuff in bins, take it out, and have a cost. That way it doesn't fill our landfill up.
Oh, even though we've removed those bins, haven't been sitting at the landfill,
Yeah.
so it's separate. Yeah.
And that way that cost goes to the cleanup, not our landfill.
Are you proposing that with the site plan application that came through tonight, that they submit a request for a reduction in building fees, not the planning fees?
No, the building fee, the building permit fees, I would say.
So one-off requests.
Or as needed.
Yeah. Because the planning fees, I mean, can't do much about that. We're gonna do those anyway, but the building permit, it's a bit of a hit, but I think, the residents of obviously.
But in this circumstance, we can bill that back, can we not? Because it was part of our disaster,
So
like our loss of revenue.
This one was July. It wasn't May, it wasn't this new one, although they did experience flooding in April. The reason why they were doing the demo rebuild was because of the damage.
July one.
Oh, excuse me, pardon.
they were midway through the reconstruction
Oh,
when
goodness.
flooded again. So it's been hit twice, but there are, as we see with those on the digital gallery, there are many who have been affected, and facing some lengthy rebuild processes or remediation efforts. But we can certainly take a look at that and bring something back possibly for next council meeting. If we end up, I'm not sure what if there's something coming in between now and then maybe we can look at what like a retro process maybe if we have to get things moving or a stall.
I don't know about a policy per se, because you might get locked in on some of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
I
hard.
had the ones before where they've requested a refund of permit fee because they sold, right? That one a few years back.
I do.
But I think the one-off,
Well, as long as they've got an avenue that they can get some relief, and I think that's real. Like, I don't want you guys to have to spend going through and.
No, I would have loved to have been able to come a bit more prepared with what that could look like.
It's not like you don't have a couple things on your plate.
Nothing on the plate. Yeah.
it's gonna fall under site plan control anyways, with a survey requiring that they meet the minimum regulatory flood elevation for the demo rebuilds.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get into new builds or accessory structures. when you're looking at cottages being demolished and rebuilt,
Yeah.
not just sleeping cabins or anything like that.
Yeah, this is more of a clear cut case of.
Just some way to mitigate some of the damage.
Yeah.
And build above and beyond.
Yeah, while they're subject to some change, in the back of the report. Amy was able, and thank you to Amy, although she's not at the meeting now, for providing, for turning this information on really quickly, the after action. Table that you have here. Yeah. So there may still be some coming, some information coming to that, but in draft format, we've captured a lot of the major issues that have popped up. And I think one of the things that we will be adding and just doubling down on is we did request, as was noted in the after action report, we had requested that additional information be shared by the MNRF. I think that in the call that we sat in on for CEMCs, there was some question and concern around media releases happening leading up to the flooding, because there had been a lot of question about dam control. And as I went door to door in Katrina on Friday, a lot of residents had concerns with the reports they were hearing on either logs that were being removed or not being removed. And I reminded of the information that was presented to us that dams are not designed to be flood control measures. However, there needs to be some more clarification out in the public lens as to how these decisions get made, or what they are capable of and are not capable of. And again, we stress to the MNRF that a lot of these calls come to the municipality first, and if we're not equipped with the information, it doesn't make tense situations any less.
Yeah, it just frustrates people.
So we're hoping that communication improves. Understanding the MNRF have a lot on their plate as well. When we have residents in distress, it's not an easy situation to not have information improved.
Okay. So we can circle back with the applicant in terms of the.
I can mention it. Well, we can, yeah, it's a bit of ways, but yes.
And can we immediately look at Jerry's idea of the bins at the top instead of?
I will follow up with Amy on that and see if they have room for them. I know with the recycling initiatives they have going on, there's spaces.
I know they had quite a pile of stuff off on the side, and maybe she was doing that already. I don't know.
Yeah,
She might have been doing that.
we can
That would fill up.
Well, medical has a lifespan, right? So we don't want to take the chance that we're going to reduce the lifespan.
And I will say that the numbers you saw in that report, in my staff report, based on what we had up to the current date, we did receive another cost for bins. So I mean, I don't think we're over the $10,000 mark yet, but it's waste not going into our. I do like having the landfill where it is monitored, because much to the dismay, I think, of some of the residents out on Kent Road, I think.
Took advantage.
Well, one of the bins was, it wasn't the people that were affected; it was other people bringing things in. Unfortunately, the word got out. Unfortunate.
Okay. Hey, Steve, any questions for Dave? Great work on that by the team on that emergency measures and the response.
Yeah, so that was a great response from the whole team. There was lots of people actively monitoring what we could.
And still doing their day job. That's good. Okay, the next is the MMAH Notice of Land Division Authority. So this is the 45-day comment period for hiring to pull out of the planning boards. So I wanted to include this in there. You know, we can make an opinion or not, I guess. We've already, I believe, sent a resolution. We sent a resolution as a planning board saying that we did not support them leaving, mainly because we just wanted them to stay and let's just try to sort through the problems if there are issues. But they've made a call that they want to pull out, so I'm not sure if there's any point in saying we disagree, or
The government, this might not let them also.
and they may not. So they may go through the period and
Yeah.
the government may just say, well,
You're not doing it.
they're not.
Draft you a letter. And put it in your folder with your resolutions. So if you wanted to, you could submit that on behalf of.
Let's see the one on the cancer care. I don't see the other one in here. Yes, it's in the,
Well, maybe we just send it to you through email.
okay.
We're supposed to, yeah, we're supposed to look at that together.
That's fine. So I get, for now, that's just kind of commentary, so you guys know what's going on. That's, the posed out date would be August 1st, but we'll see what happens.
I think it's just maybe a portal that you submit the comment to the MMH.
Looks like, yeah, if you want to make any comments on it, you can do so. I know a couple people I know are actually, they are gonna put a comment in. Okay, we're up to new business, so why don't we take a break? And we will return at 9 o'clock for a new business, and we do have a closed session today. And we're back from break and we're on to new business. First up is Highway 11 and 17 rest stops and traveler services. And council report from Mr. Blakelock.
Timing was this straight, because it was, I meant to bring this up last meeting. It was a meeting before that I was chirping about the rest stop, so I just thought it was, timing was appropriate. The conversation was there, I just, like, last time, so I missed it.
So Farnham has been releasing media releases indicating, you know, Highway 11 and 17 issues. They have touched on it. When I looked to it with Rob and I working on this. But it isn't like Highway 11. There's proposals for ones along the way, but I think that if council was to support this, it would coincide with Farnham's. They did have it a resolution that they were taking to their general meeting. That's on page.
110 in the.
Yeah, it's not showing in my thing here, but I haven't received confirmation that Farnham has passed that yet, but I think we're gonna receive it, but I think it would be good to.
It's too bad it didn't go to the municipal meeting on Friday. Would have been a good spot.
Yeah. This has come up before this one, though. Maybe it's been to our meeting. Okay, so we have a resolution for this one anyway. This is my long resolution of the night, it looks like. Wins the prize. Whereas highways 11 and 17 are critical transportation corridors connecting northern Ontario communities and supporting national trade, tourism, emergency response, and economic development. And whereas Northern Ontario residents, travelers, commercial drivers, and emergency services rely on safe and accessible year-round highway infrastructure. And whereas many stretches of highways 11 and 17 lack sufficient rest areas, washroom facilities, truck parking, warming centers, fuel access, and safe pull-off locations, particularly in remote areas of Northern Ontario. Whereas inadequate rest stop infrastructure contributes to driver fatigue, safety concerns, limited accessibility, and challenges for tourism and commercial transportation. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Armour calls upon the Government of Ontario and the Government of Canada to prioritize the development of new and upgraded highway rest stops and traveler infrastructure along highways 11 and 17 across Northern Ontario. Be it further resolved that such infrastructure include year-round washrooms, safe parking areas, commercial truck parking, warming shelters, electric vehicle charging stations, fuel access, tourism information, and improved emergency communication services where feasible. And further resolved, Province of Ontario work collaboratively with northern municipalities, Farnham, Noma, Indigenous communities, and industry stakeholders to identify priority locations for investment. And be it resolved that this resolution be circulated to Farnham, Noma, AMO, local MPPs and MPs, the Premier of Ontario, and Ontario municipalities. Mover.
Sure.
Sure. Jerry. Any other questions? All those in favor? Carried. Next week. Item 25. Now the resolution regarding Glenn Miller taking over for the East Home Board from thank you. Council Township of Armour supports the appointment of Deputy Mayor Glenn Miller to the East Home Board of Management for Area 4, comprised of the Township of Armour, Township of Ryerson, Town of Kearney, and Township of Kennedy. Sure, Jerry, and then I've got Dorothy. All those in favor? We've got a new committee. Item 26. East Perry Sound Community Support Services has a new website. css.ca. From Leslie Price, so if you want to check that out. And item 27 is a draft by council agenda for the June 22nd meeting at the KCC. So any other items you want to add, or you can add them now or before.
Right, do you have any suggestions? On that page, I've noted that the next meeting is Monday, August 31st at 7 p.m. That's inaccurate. The resolution that you passed was to cancel that one. So the next meeting will be October and just don't know when. So I imagine you guys will pass a resolution at Tri-Council, or maybe the Tri-Subcommittee will set one because October 26th is voting day.
On the season 2.
Somehow that makes sense.
We'll discuss about June 22nd.
Okay.
Do you have any other items that you want listed on the agenda?
Think about any right now.
The other one that I could think of was and this is more of a Berks Falls one. I don't know if they'd want it on there, but June 22nd is just before Canada Day fireworks, and they are usually looking for volunteers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That may be an agenda item. Not sure.
I can't wait to stand at the entrance asking for mine. It's my finest moments.
Yeah. So if you think of any items, let Charlene know, get those added on. All right, that's it for our open session. We're now moving into closed. Also, Township of Armour hereby moved into closed session at 9:07 p.m. Under section 239(2) of the Municipal Act to discuss personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, litigation or potential comment for administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. Advice that is subject to solicitor client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose, information plan procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on behalf of the municipality or local board. Move into close. Rod and then Dorothy. All in favor? Okay, we are out of our close. Right direction. Council Township of Armour adjourns this regular council meeting at 9:42. Yeah. The next regular council meeting is scheduled for June 9th, 2026 with the call of the mayor or the clerk. Dorothy.
Sure.
Jerry. All those in favor of leaving? Thanks, folks.